Next up today, Spotify and UMG deal. Now, I didn't know what to make of that because the last thing I heard about Spotify and UMG was that Drake was mad at both of them, and then they was all sitting in a room together, and then Drake said everything's okay and took his lawsuit back off the table, and then Spotify's like cool, and UMG's like told you, and then that was it. But I guess before all of that, and underneath and aside all of that, Spotify and UMG were working on a new deal. Part of the way Spotify works is that they have to make deals with the big record labels, the big rights holders, to in order to have a license to play all the music that they have. So supposedly, that's where the majority of the money goes, because Spotify as a company usually doesn't post even having made a profit, because apparently most of the money that they bring in from their hundreds of millions of subscribers, I don't know how many, hundreds of millions might be, it might be an exaggeration, but apparently most of that money goes to the rights holders. So they've made a new deal with UMG, which I believe is the biggest of the rights holders. And I'm very interested to see some of the details to try to parse this out a little bit, because I keep seeing headlines about how this deal is supposed to be good for the artist. Cause that makes my little antenna go up, my little bullshit antenna go up. It makes my bullshit detector go ping, 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 ping. Cause I don't remember any experience I have with the history of knowing about Spotify and Universal Music Group, them being concerned about artist welfare in the least. So I want to see what this new deal is talking about. Spotify UMG deal. Spotify and UMG deal could create pricier superfan subscription. Interesting. Spotify and Universal unveil far-reaching deal that improves bundling payment structure. So that makes my mind go crazy already, because bundling, as I'm aware of it, is a thing that like big artists like Travis Scott and Nicki Minaj, they'll put on their website, new album available, and then you'll have a bunch of options to click with prices, and it'll sell you like a hat or a face mask or some chain mail with the link to the album download in it. And so then they count all of these physical sales with their album sales, and that's how a lot of them go super double, triple, chocolate platinum, is they include these bundles with their downloads, and those numbers get included in their sales. So my first question would be, if that's the same bundling they're referring to, what the fuck does Spotify or Universal have to do with that at all? Like that's something that I feel like started happening on the individual artist manager level and had nothing to do with streaming. So is this Spotify and Universal angling for a piece of revenue that's got nothing to do with them? And this is what's supposed to be for the artist? New Spotify and UMG deal could create pricier superfan subscriptions. So look, they're going to try to pass this off as something that's more beneficial to artists. But there's a very simple thing that Spotify and UMG could do to make things more beneficial to artists, and that is give artists more money per stream. If they were interested in making things more beneficial for the songwriters and the artists that provide the product that they merely distribute to people and collect money for the experience of interacting with, what they could do is take less money themselves and give more money to the artist. That's the very easy way to make things more beneficial for the artist. But I suspect that's not what this is talking about. I suspect a pricier superfan subscription means their pathway towards potentially giving more money to artists is to ask for more money from the consumer, which seems wildly unnecessary to me. Spotify and Universal Music Group have signed a new multi-year agreement that could result in a tiered subscription approach aimed at providing extra perks for superfans. This is already fucking stupid as far as I can tell. Because again, everything about perks and super fans, this is stuff that could, should, and has been controlled by the artist and the artist management. We get to decide what the extra perks are because those extra perks typically cost us more money or time to produce, and we give our fans the option to engage with these things or not engage with these things. Like there's people who only listen to open mic Eagle music. There's people who would like to experience Open Mike Eagle's Patreon, which includes demo versions and unreleased versions and all of this other content. And I appreciate it mostly because Spotify and my music distribution is completely out of this equation. They have already set up a relationship where they've decided that they're going to charge what they charge and they're going to pay me fractions of a penny per stream, which necessitates all of this extra perk shit in the first place. So it sounds like they're creating the conditions where artists need to sell extra perks, and they somehow want to be a part of that too. The two didn't announce any specifics, which is fucking interesting, including the number of years the deal lasts, but UMG says it's consistent with the streaming 2.0 vision it presented to investors. I clicked this earlier, and it takes you to, okay, so it takes you to this PDF that to me, we were talking about cults earlier. This feels like some shit where Fat Joe comes out in an ill-fitting suit and tries to sell me on Universal Music Group Capital Markets Day. What type of sick holiday that is. Forward-looking statements presentation. I'm not even probably legally not even supposed to be fucking showing this, but it was on the article. It was linked to it. I didn't steal it. Okay. Capital Markets Day, Sir Lucian Grange, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, Universal. Well, what is this shit? What is this old stuff here? Oh, EMI Recording Studios. Okay. We've been seeing so much Nazi iconography in the world lately. I saw these black and white photos and my nervous system was like, no, what is this? Okay, and these are musicians they've taken advantage of throughout time. Let's see how many of them are even still fucking alive. God, you know what I end up thinking about so much when these music companies talk about their relationships with artists and how important all that shit is. Like, you know firsthand, especially as a fan of like underground hip hop, you know how many artists that these record companies have left dead in the gutter. like artists like back in the 90s that they would sign to like 6 album deals and then put out the first album and it does okay, put out the second album and it does okay, and then they shelve the third album and won't let them out of the contract, and these motherfuckers have no life skills, no way out of the deal, they can't get paid no more for nothing, and they end up fucking dead in the gutter. Like, and it's like, yeah, these are all the success stories, but god damn, the tragedy of all of the people that this industry has fucking failed. That's why I was really mad during COVID, during the George Floyd protests, when the music industry was like, let's do black squares. Let's do black squares. Because that'll help the musicians and the black people who feel unfairly treated by being killed at the hands of the police. We're the music industry. We should do something. What should we do? Let's put our heads together. Oh, I know. Black squares. Black squares. Fuck. I swear, capitalism is fucking atrocious. And I don't know, man. As artists, we just have to figure out some new way to interface with commerce because this is some bullshit. This thing is supposed to be about some streaming 2.0 endeavor that I still quite don't understand. Oh, okay, and we'll improve streaming 2.0. Oh God. Okay, so now they're tracing the history of digital music. Download to own. So this is the iTunes model. zero point 0.4 billion users. Streaming duopoly, which is Apple and Spotify, zero point 0.6 billion. Big four streamers, which is Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music. How big is Amazon Music really? And YouTube Music, 0.9 billion. Now look at this little deadly corner over here. I'm gonna move the chat box for a second so y'all can see this. This area right here. Social plus scale regional streamers, 9.5 billion. So Instagram, Snapchat, WhatsApp, Facebook, TikTok, 5.3 billion. With Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube Music, Deezer, Tencent, China. I'm not sure what this other icon is here. So it appears that streaming 2.0 is about them having an intention, a strategy towards monetizing music on social media and through the streaming distributors. I suppose that there's already some sort of profit there, especially on YouTube. My understanding of the way that the music worked on TikTok was that TikTok had a license or has a license with the Universal Music Group so that the music can be there and that the music can be used for free because they were using it, they were looking at it as a promotional vehicle. But if they're trying to turn that into a revenue stream, that's really interesting because the margins on TikTok are small anyway, even for like the people who make the videos. Like the amount that they get for content creation as a person on TikTok is like much smaller than what you get for creating on YouTube, for instance, because YouTube can put advertisements in the middle of a video. You can't do that in a TikTok. So you can have an advertisement before or after a TikTok, but it's typically much less visibility, which means much less revenue for the content creator. So if you're already dealing with a smaller margin, and now Universal is wanting a piece of that as well. Wow. Again, if Universal and a Spotify, for instance, wanted to do better by artists or creators, it'd be very easy. It'd be very easy. It would be less profiting giant corporation and more profiting towards the people who make the shit that you sell. That would be the easy way to do it. It doesn't look like that's what's going to happen here. Music subscriber growth outlook historically underestimated. Previous estimates, future subscribers in 2023, 400 million. Paid subscribers will rise to 336. Okay, so paid subscribers were way more than that. Okay. All right, so I see what they mean now. Current consensus predicts 1 billion subscribers by 2028. Music powers engagement across the vast ecosystem. All these corporations. What did Yassine Bey say? You can so many SKUs. This is so many SKUs here. Super fandom will accelerate music industry economics. In the 60s and 90s, super fan passion was evident. Midnight on release day as fans waited in long lines. This is so fucking dystopic. We are innovating and developing products and experiences to give super fans more opportunities to engage. We don't need UMG in the merch business. We as artists do not need Universal to be in the merch business. If I want to make a fucking oven mitt, that's on me. Because that product and its margins from the cost of manufacturing it to the full revenue should go to me. And of course, that's a collaboration with an artist. I didn't draw that, right? So I need to pay the artist, and then I need to source the material, and I need to put that on sale to my fans to pay whatever I think the price is for it. And I, as the artist, not only should have all that money, but because Universal and Spotify pay me a fraction of a penny for the main way people interact with my music, I need that entire revenue stream. Universal does not need it. Sir Lucian Grange does not need it. Look at this. We should make fucking cardigans. Why? This is confusing too, because they're talking about how much they've historically underrated how many people will be paying for subscriptions. So they're saying that there's going to be more people paying money into the systems they already control, yet they still feel like they need this too. Okay, I need to stop looking at this. I need to stop looking at this. This shit is making me mad. Okay, let's go back to the article. Sometimes it's better to look at the public information because the private information will make you want to vomit in your chair. UMG Chairman Sir Lucian Grange called the agreement precisely the kind of partnership development that the company hoped for when describing Streaming 2.0. That presentation envisioned a super premium subscription for super fans that could mean things like early access to music, exclusive deluxe editions. They already do the deluxe edition shit. But again, so they want to be in the room. They want to have a representative in the room when the artist and the manager are deciding what's going to be on the standard edition of the album and what's going to be the deluxe edition. They want to say in that. They want a part of that revenue. I mean, matter of fact, they already get that. Because again, when you make the deluxe edition of whatever the fuck the new Travis Scott album is and he adds the 6 extra songs, it's not like he's getting a different rate on those. He's still getting his fraction of a fucking penny. So that's already in streaming 1.0. Somebody said in the chat earlier, and I didn't see who said it, but they said OG was the 360 deal. Now they're talking about the 720 deal. That's exactly what this is. Like the extra engagement that they've created, the environment where for us it's necessary. They want a piece of that too. Sony Music Publishing also criticized Spotify's royalty changes and even considered options to challenge them. It's not clear if Sony or any other publishers are in talks for similar deals with Spotify because, now that UMG has made this deal, Sony's going to make a deal. Warner's going to make a deal. I'm not even sure who there's 4. I think there's 4 distributors left. I can't remember who the other one is. My shit all goes through one of the Sony subsidiaries. So we'll see what any of this means for my life. I guess I'll find out soon what it means for my shit. It's not clear if Sony or any other publishers are in talks, but that could change in light of the UMG deal, which Billboard notes is Spotify's first direct deal with the music publisher since the Music Modernization Act passed in 2018. Okay. Well, there's a lot to pay attention to here for artists. On first look, to me, all of this shit seems more ghoulish than ever because it just seems like Universal is angling towards shit that they got no business putting their fingers on. But that's from my perspective. And I'm just damn tired of having to adjust around these giant corporations that already make all the money but still seem to want more of it. And it seems to me that they're trying to co-opt the ways in which artists are already using to try to stay above water because it's hard fucking enough as it is. Let me know what y'all think about any of this nonsense. Like and subscribe, homie, friend. It's free. Stop playing.